here we go, part 2. So it says solve each inequality, justifying each step you use. Okay. They just want you to use, geez, what was that? 4.4? Maybe we wrote, yeah, I think it was 4.4. We wrote down the properties of inequalities. There was the addition property of inequality, subtraction property of inequality, division property of inequality, multiplication property of inequality. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to solve this inequality. I have negative 5x is less than 35. So I'm solving for x, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. So then this side would just be negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1, that's just x. I divided by a negative number. Dividing or multiplying by a negative number means you have to flip the sign. So see how it's less than, I'm going to flip it. And then 35 divided by negative 5 is negative 7. All right, and then you write your justification. Oh, that is just the division. Division property of inequality. How do you know it's the division property? Because we divide it. You know it's the division property of inequality because we divide it. We divide it by the same number on both sides, and because we divided by a negative number, we had to flip the sign. That's all part of division property of inequality. Okay, so that's it. That's number 3. And number 6. I'm not going to do all of these. I'm going to skip around. Okay. 5 minus 4x is less than or equal to 17. Solve and justify. Right? So I'm solving for x. So the first thing I want to do is get this by itself. Let's get rid of this 5. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Okay, 5 minus 5 is 0, so all that's left over here is negative 4x is less than or equal to 17. So then we have to go over and justify this step. Why can we subtract 5 from both sides? It's the subtraction because we subtracted the same number from both sides. Subtraction property, and come over this way a little bit, of inequality. Just means if you subtract the same number from both sides, the inequality stays the same. You don't have to flip the sign. You can do that. Okay, next. Negative 4x is less than or equal to 17. I'm going to divide by negative 4. Okay, so then this is just x. And over here, I would just leave it as negative 17 over 4. Oh, shoot. I made a mistake. That should be 12. All right, 17 minus 5 is 12, not 17. My bad. So then this is going to be negative 3. Okay, but then we divided by a negative number, so you have to flip your sign. So instead of less than, it's going to be greater than. Make sure you flip your sign if you multiply or divide by a negative. Once again, we have to justify this step. We divide by negative 4, and that is division property of inequality. Boom. Okay? Because We divided both sides by -4. Because we divided by a negative number, we had to flip the sign. All right. That's number 6. All right, number 7. X over -3 is greater than -10 over 9. Okay. So we're going to solve for x. So this time, usually we're multiplying, right? Usually it's like -3x. And so to break this apart, we would do the opposite, which is divide by -3. This time, they're dividing, so we have to do the opposite of that, which is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -3. All right, your -3's cancel over here, so you're just left with x is greater than -10 over 9, so you could do that, -10, -9 times -3. It's going to be -30 over 9. But then really you should reduce that. You can divide both numbers by 3, -10 over 3. So then this is -10 over 3. Well, I have to erase this so you can justify. Well, and we multiply by a negative number, so you must flip your sign. All right. And then can you guess what the justification is? It's the multiplication, because we multiplied. Multiplication property of inequality. Okay. There you go. Okay, I'll do number 10. So solve each inequality and graph the solution on the number line. Okay, so here's my inequality. X plus 11 is greater than 13. Solve for x. I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 11. Both sides. 11 minus 11 is 0, so I just have x is greater than 13 minus 11 is 2. So that's your solution, and then you have to graph it on your number line. So it's greater than 2, so I'll go, I don't know, 0, 1, 2, -1, -2, 3, 4, and so on, right? So then we're greater than 2. There's no equal part right here. So that means this is an open circle. Open circle, and then greater than. If there was an equal sign, if it was greater than or equal to 2, I would color in that circle. Okay? Okay, I'm going to do number 14. I tried once and I made a mistake and messed up the whole problem, so that just shows you have to be very, very careful. So this is round 2. Alright, so I have 2/3 x minus 1/2 times quantity 4x minus 1 is greater than or equal to x plus 2 times quantity x minus 3. Alright, here we go, let's solve this thing. So the first thing I would do on both sides is distribute. Okay, so let's leave this guy alone. So this is still 2/3 x. Negative 1/2 times 4x. 1/2 times 4. Negative 2x. And then negative 1/2 times 1 is just positive 1/2. Remember, the negatives cancel each other out. Okay, less than or equal to, rewrite your x. And then we're distributing the 2. So 2 times x, 2x, 2 times -3, -6. I'll switch colors, that's kind of hard to see. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my like terms on both sides. So I'm going to combine my x's on both sides. So I have 2/3 minus 2x. Okay, so that's going to be negative 4/3. Okay, so then I'm trying to think if I should show you. I don't know. Negative 2 plus 2/3 is negative 4/3. Okay, so negative 2 plus 2/3 is negative 1 1/3. And that's how you write that as an improper fraction. As an improper, negative 2 plus 2/3 is negative 1 1/3, and then you go 3 times negative 1 plus 1, so that's negative 3 plus 1 more, negative 4 over 3. All right. Oh, and then, so that was those two combined, and then plus 1/2 is greater than or equal to. And then on this side, I would also combine my like terms. What can I combine over here? Well, let's see. I can combine my x's. I have 1 apple. David has 2 apples. Look at that. We have 3 apples. And then minus 6. Boop. Oh, this is an x. Whew. Okay. You can keep solving with fractions, but I'm really tired of staring at fractions. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So I can get rid of this fraction. Well, that'll give me another fraction. So I'll still have 1/2 to deal with. I guess I won't do it. I can multiply by 6 and that will get rid of both of them, but never mind. We'll just keep going with fractions. All right, so then I'm going to move my x's to the other side. That's plus. Yes, plus. All right, so this is gone, right? Negative 4/3 plus 4/3 is 0. So on this side, I have 1/2 greater than or equal to 3x plus 4/3 x. So remember, this is really 3 plus 1 1/3. 3 plus 1 1/3. So then that would just be 4 1/3. And then how do you make that back into an improper fraction? 3 times 4 plus 1, 13 over 3. So I'm going to leave it like that. So that's 13 over 3x. And then rewrite minus 6. All right. So here we are. Now I'm going to move this over. Plus 6. 6. So then 6 plus 1/2. 6.5. Or you can write 6.5. Greater than or equal to 13 over 3x. Woo! Okay. Okay, and then you divide both sides by whatever's in front of the x. So you're dividing by 13 over 3. If you want to change that into a decimal, you can. Let me see, 13 divided by 3. It would be 4.333 repeating. But anyway, divide both sides by 13 over 3. So then you would get 1.5 is greater than or equal to x. That was awful, but there you go. That's your answer.